We're finally here. Aljamain 2 easily could headline a pay-per-view on its own if it really wanted to. Surprising that it really didn't, but you know, that's how the cookie crumbled for this fight. You know, a lot of waiting, a lot of surgeries. Jan became an interim champion in that time. And the thing with me for this one, it's like, let's put away all of the bullshit. Let's put away all of the stuff that, you know, if you want to hate on Aljo, hate on Aljo. All good. If you believe that Peter Yan was, you know, in the wrong and Aljo deserves to be champion and did enough, blah, 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 all the power to you. But for me, I want to break this fight down as unbiasedly as possible. And we have an example. I think that's where we can kind of look to both guys to see how well they did. And there's a couple of things that stood out for Aljo, in my opinion. And it's over the course of the whole fight in one way, and then the first round. The big thing for me, first round, let's start there. 27 for 74 significant strikes. So he lands at a 36% clip, gasses himself out, as most people saw, towards the third and fourth rounds. And you have to ask yourself, you know, was all of that worth it? Clearly not. But did he balance? If he balanced it out, could he have been a bit better? Potentially, right? You look at the rest of the fight, and you know, he almost did calm down, but he was still able to throw at volume. In the third round, you know, he really did meet Jan a little bit closer with those numbers. But the way I see it is, you know, you have to go across the whole fight, and you know, he has this running argument right now that he did put up more significant strikes and that he did do enough to win the fight until that happened. And frankly, I disagree, and the only reason is because regardless of all the difference of opinion that you hear with judging, there are a few things that kind of seem consistent across the board. And the big thing for me is, you know, head shots versus body shots versus leg kicks and all that. At the end of the day, you can throw as many significant strikes as you want. So in this case, Aljo threw 230 significant strikes, landed only 97 of them at 42% clip. Of those 97 strikes, 43 of them were to the body. And let's be real, he is not, you know, getting in close and boxing up like a Glover Teixeira and trying to find those body shots. No, it's probably, you know, lengthy jabs, some quick hooks to the body as he goes in and out. And that's kind of where I just so disagree with that outlook on this fight, because when you watch the fight, you got a version, and now when you're looking at the stats, you get another version, but then when you do a deep dive, it all starts to make a little sense. And I think for me, you look at the things he's done well. If Aljo can give us the version that fought Sandhagen, you know, this could go down as one of the best fights, I'm going to say, of all time, because rivalry-wise, it's just been so long since we had something so real to really go off of. And that last fight, it's left so much up to speculation and thought and, you know, non-factual assumptions. So that's where, for me, I'm kind of laughing at just the entire idea of it being that carryover from the knee and all that stuff. But these guys are elite. And for me, footwork, movement, in and out, keep throwing those jabs to the body, but also finish those combos. I think you need to add more to it, because the big error was the first round for sure, I think, for Aljo, and he's going to be able to learn from that without question. And again, think about the first round we saw against Sandhagen versus the first round we saw against Jan. There is a version of Sterling that's going to make this a very, very memorable fight, and I think we're going to see that version. You look at the clips of both guys working out, you look at the shape that they're in. They have waited for nothing more. The Twitter battle back and forth has been hilarious, but it's all said and done now. You know, it's time to put up or shut up, and I think both these guys are very much going to go in very confident. And you know, we know what we love about Peter Yan. He's like a violent Khabib with that solid wrestling and the boxing to boot. I think a lot of people were loving the idea of giving him that credit of, you know, top of the line boxer when it comes to just pound for pound in MMA. But for me, it's the mixing it up with him. He's vicious. You know, he's very, very violent in the sense of, you know, mixing it up, taking it to the ground, and his ground and pound is just so accurate. He's so powerful, and he just seems very tough to move off of you to get back on top or even get to a fence. And so, for me, you know, rounds 3, 4, 5 are going to be so telling if this isn't a finish, because not only is there a big question hanging over Aljo, can he last the 5 rounds with Peter, but then you've got the example of Peter just, you know, mauling guys over 5 rounds. So, you know, when you think of a line, I'm personally going to go with Petr Yan is a minus 190. I think he deserves to be a favorite here. I think that he was winning the first fight, and he became the interim champ in the process while waiting. So let's go with a minus 190 for him. I actually really like that line. Oh, wow. I was nowhere close. Minus 324. Opener now as high as a minus 500. Aljo plus 260, now as high as a plus 370. I can't say this line is shocking by any means, but I think for me, you know, paths to victory-wise, I think that's why you're seeing Petr Yan's line just jump so high. He's just so dominant, right? No matter where the fight seems to go, he seems to be a little bit ahead of the curve, but I think Aljo's speed, footwork, and ability to attack the ground game should be where his head's at. I think he tried really well to be part of that striking back and forth in the first fight, but too many things working against him. I think the output in the first round was kind of the start of what was a very grueling fight for him, you know, with us looking in. I think that if he's able to mix it up a bit more, you know, pick your shots, find ways to kind of make it a lengthier fight, if you will, for his cardio and durability, I think it's going to be an exciting fight. For me, the biggest thing is, can Petr Yan get that title, and is he going to be able to keep it for a long time? This is such an action-packed division. I think we've all fallen in love with it. So that's probably one of the biggest fights of the year, and I can't wait for it. You know, I think it's going to be a best man win situation, but I'm definitely leaning towards Petr Yan right now.